So get this. Scientists are kicking off this huge research project,
Yeah.
and they're trying to map out this whole hidden world that's inside all of us.
Yeah.
And it's not the microbiome. I mean, we've all heard so much about the microbiome at this point. This is even weirder. This is even more mysterious. We're talking about the human virome.
That's right. Yeah. And it's truly a frontier in science.
Yeah.
So the virome, this refers to all the viruses that live in and on the human body.
Okay.
And when I say all, I mean, we're talking trillions upon trillions of viruses, most of which we know next to nothing about.
Trillions. Wow, that's wild. I mean, that's got to be like more stars than there are in the galaxy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, no wonder they need a whole program just to even try to figure this out. So tell us about the Human Virome program. I mean, what's the game plan with this thing?
Well, this program is just this massive undertaking, you know. We're talking 5 universities, a whopping $171 million in funding. And their mission is to really analyze the virome, you know, in detail like we've never seen before. And to do that, they're going to be collecting, you know, all sorts of samples. I'm talking blood, saliva, you name it. They're even collecting stool samples. You know, not exactly the most glamorous part of this research.
Definitely not dinner conversation.
Yeah, right.
But hey, science is messy sometimes, right? So they're gathering all this data. I mean, how are they going to make sense of all of it? Are they just going to have like rooms full of scientists staring at petri dishes for years?
Well, actually, they're bringing in some serious technological firepower. We're talking artificial intelligence. So AI algorithms are going to help analyze this just massive amount of genetic data from all these samples, right? And they're going to be searching for patterns and connections that would literally take humans, you know, years and years to uncover.
Wow. So it's AI playing virus detective. I mean, I love it. But why are we going to all this trouble? What's the big deal about understanding the human virome? Why should we care?
Well, the potential implications here are huge. I mean, just think about it. If we can really wrap our heads around the role that these viruses play in our bodies, you know, it could totally revolutionize how we approach health and disease.
Okay. I'm intrigued. So where do we even begin to unravel this whole mystery? I mean, didn't we just discover the virome, like, yesterday?
Well, believe it or not, you know, our journey into the virome, it actually started over a century ago, you know, back when scientists discovered these things called phages.
Phages?
Yeah, these are viruses that specifically infect bacteria. And scientists, they were finding them in stool samples way back then. So it really highlights this early connection between viruses and the gut.
So we've known about these phages for a while. So, I mean, what's new and exciting in this whole virome research?
Well, for a long time, we thought phages were just these simple entities that, you know, they just kill bacteria.
Right.
But now we're finding that their interactions are far more complex. You see, not only do they kill bacteria, they can actually transfer genes between them, which means phages, they could actually be shaping the whole bacterial landscape in our bodies.
Wait, so they're like genetic engineers, swapping genes between bacteria. What are the implications of that?
Oh, it means that phages could be influencing how bacteria evolve and adapt, even affecting their resistance to antibiotics. And considering how crucial gut bacteria are to our overall health, that's kind of a big deal.
Wow. I never even thought about viruses having that kind of power. It's like a whole ecosystem we never even knew existed.
Absolutely.
So how many of these phages are we even talking about? Just a few here and there.
Oh, not even close. No. Research shows there are literally billions of phages in just a single gram of stool. And each person's gut likely contains, you know, hundreds, maybe even thousands of different phage species.
Thousands. I'm starting to feel a little crowded in here.
Yeah.
But it's not just phages, right? There's other kinds of viruses lurking in our bodies too.
Absolutely, yeah. There are viruses that infect our own cells, and many of them, they don't even cause any noticeable symptoms. I mean, take cytomegaloviruses, for example.
Okay.
They are incredibly common. I mean, most people are actually infected with them. And they can inhabit like pretty much every organ in the body without causing any major problems.
So we're walking around with all these viruses and we don't even know it. That's kind of freaky, but I mean, also kind of amazing.
It really is amazing. And as our technology just gets more and more advanced, we're discovering even more viral diversity. I mean, take anelloviruses, for example.
Okay.
Back in 1997, scientists in Japan, they discovered this entirely new family of viruses.
Wow.
And just last month, a study revealed over 800 new species of anelloviruses.
Oh, wow.
Bringing the total number to over 6,800.
Over 6,800 different types of just one virus. That's mind-boggling. It really makes you realize how much we still don't know about what's living inside of us.
Absolutely. And what's even more fascinating is that some of these discoveries are actually challenging, like our very definition of what a virus even is. You see, we usually think of viruses as having this protein shell with DNA or RNA inside. But scientists are now finding these tiny rings of free-floating RNA in our bodies.
So hold on. I mean, is that a virus or is that something else entirely? This virome is getting weirder by the minute.
I know, right? That's the exciting part, right? We're venturing into this completely uncharted territory and, we're pushing the boundaries of our understanding.
I am on the edge of my seat.
Good.
But I have to ask, I mean, if these viruses are so tiny, and they can hide inside our cells.
Yeah.
How do we even study them? I mean, it seems impossible.
It's definitely a challenge. And that's exactly why the Human Virome program is relying so much on the power of AI. So Dr. Pardis Sabeti, she's a computational biologist at Harvard. She and her team are developing AI systems that can basically sift through this vast amount of genetic data. And these AI detectives, they can actually uncover these hidden viral genes that we might otherwise totally miss.
Wow. AI to the rescue. So once we find these viral genes, then what? I mean, what are all these viruses doing inside our bodies? Are they all just waiting to make us sick?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, right? And
Yeah.
It's one that scientists are really actively trying to answer. You see, we used to think of viruses as just the enemy.
Right.
Just agents of disease that needed to be, eradicated.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember learning about viruses in school. And it was all about how they cause colds and flus.
Right.
Not exactly a positive image.
Exactly. But the story is a lot more nuanced than that. You see, recent research suggests that some viruses might actually have beneficial roles in our bodies.
Wait, beneficial? Hold on. Are you telling me that viruses could actually be good for us? I need to hear more about this.
I thought you might. Let's talk about those phages again for a second.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about their ability to transfer genes between bacteria?
Yeah.
Well, it's not just about antibiotic resistance. Phages can also deliver genes that can actually help bacteria adapt to different environments. They can even improve their ability to break down nutrients.
So these phages are like these tiny little delivery trucks carrying genetic blueprints around the bacterial world.
That is a great analogy.
Thank you.
And this constant exchange of genetic material, it can have a huge impact on our overall health. I mean, just think about the gut microbiome.
Right.
Trillions of bacteria that play this, crucial role in digestion, immunity, even our mental well-being.
Right. I mean, we've all heard how important gut health is. But how do these phages fit into the picture?
Well, by influencing the composition and function of the gut microbiome, phages indirectly affect our health in countless ways. It's like this domino effect where changes in the virome kind of ripple through the microbiome and ultimately, influence our well-being.
Wow. That's incredible. It's like this whole microscopic world is working behind the scenes to keep us healthy.
Exactly.
I love it. And there's growing evidence that phages might even play a more direct role in protecting us from disease.
That's right.
Okay, you've got my attention. Tell me more.
Okay, so some studies suggest that phages can actually deliver defensive genes to bacteria in our gut. And these genes, they can encode proteins that actually help bacteria fight off these harmful invaders. Essentially, it's like they're acting as a defense system for our microbiome.
So phages they're like tiny little superheroes arming our good bacteria with weapons to fight the bad guys.
Yeah.
I love it.
It really is remarkable, and it really makes you realize that viruses, bacteria, and humans were all interconnected in this just intricate web of life.
Yeah. This whole conversation is really making me rethink everything I thought I knew about viruses. It's like we're rewriting the textbooks on virology here.
I know, it really is a paradigm shift. And it raises some really fascinating questions about how we approach health and disease.
Like, if viruses can be good for us, should we even be trying to wipe them all out?
Exactly.
Or are there ways that we can actually harness their power for good?
Absolutely. And those are exactly the questions that scientists are grappling with right now. There's this growing field called phage therapy, which uses phages to actually treat bacterial infections.
Phage therapy? I mean, that sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
Yeah.
Using viruses to fight infections.
I know, right? It might sound futuristic, but it's actually been around for for almost a century. You know, phage therapy was first developed back in the early 1900s.
Wow.
But it kind of fell out of favor with the rise of antibiotics.
Oh, why did that happen?
Well, antibiotics were just easier to produce and administer.
Okay.
And they worked against a wider range of bacteria.
Yeah.
But now, with the increasing threat of antibiotic resistance, there's this renewed interest in phage therapy as a potential alternative.
So are phages like our secret weapon against superbugs?
Well, they definitely have the potential to be a valuable tool in our arsenal. You know, unlike antibiotics, which can kill both good and bad bacteria, phages are highly specific. I mean, they only target certain types of bacteria. They leave the rest of the microbiome, you know, totally unharmed.
Okay, that's a huge advantage. So phage therapy, this could be a much more targeted and like less disruptive approach to treating infections.
Exactly. And because phages can evolve and adapt alongside bacteria, they're less likely to become ineffective over time.
Right.
Unlike antibiotics, which, you know, bacteria can develop resistance to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it sounds like phage therapy has a lot of promise.
Yeah, it really does. But I'm guessing there are still some hurdles to overcome.
Of course. And one of the biggest challenges is just finding the right phage for the right infection.
Right.
You know, with so much diversity in both bacteria and phages, it's a complex and time-consuming process.
I mean, it sounds like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but on a microscopic scale.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah.
But researchers, you know, they're developing new techniques and technologies to make phage identification and isolation more efficient.
That's great.
Yeah.
This is also fascinating. I mean, it's amazing to think that something as, you know, as tiny and often overlooked as a virus could actually hold the key to fighting some of the biggest health challenges we face.
Absolutely. It's a testament to the power of nature.
Yeah.
You know, and the interconnectedness of all living things. You know, the human virome, it's a vast and largely unexplored frontier. And every new discovery just has the potential to really revolutionize our understanding of health, disease, and even, you know, the very nature of life itself.
I'm definitely starting to see viruses in a whole new light. You know, I used to think of them as nothing but trouble, but now I realize they're a crucial part of who we are.
It's all about perspective, right?
Yeah.
You know, viruses, they're an integral part of the web of life, and they play this complex and often unexpected role in our health and well-being. And as we continue to, you know, unravel the secrets of the human virome, we're bound to uncover even more fascinating insights that really challenge our assumptions and push the boundaries of scientific knowledge.
Yeah. I'm on the edge of my seat waiting to see what the Human Virome program uncovers next.
Me too. It's a groundbreaking endeavor. It really is. And it promises to unlock this treasure trove of knowledge about our inner viral world.
Absolutely.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the human virome.
I'm still buzzing from that last revelation. I mean, viruses fighting cancer. It's like the ultimate plot twist.
I know, right? It really highlights just how complex our relationship with viruses really is.
Yeah.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
So are there other examples of viruses potentially being, you know, good for us? I need more of these like mind-blowing insights.
Okay. Well, let's revisit phages for a moment.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about their ability to transfer genes between bacteria?
Yeah.
Well, it's not just about antibiotic resistance. Phages can also deliver genes that actually help bacteria adapt to different environments or even improve their ability to, you know, break down nutrients.
So these phages, they're like these tiny little delivery trucks carrying like genetic blueprints around the bacterial world.
That's a great analogy.
That's right.
And this constant exchange of genetic material, it can have a huge impact on our overall health.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about the gut microbiome, right?
Yeah.
I mean, trillions of bacteria that play this crucial role in digestion, immunity, even our mental well-being.
Right.
So,
We've all heard about how important gut health is. But how do these phages fit into the picture?
well, by influencing the composition and function of the gut microbiome, phages indirectly affect our health in countless ways. It's like a domino effect where changes in the virome, they kind of ripple through the microbiome. And ultimately, you know, they influence our well-being.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like this whole microscopic world is working behind the scenes to keep us healthy.
Exactly. And there's growing evidence that phages might even play a more direct role in protecting us from disease.
Okay, you've got my attention. Tell me more.
All right. So some studies suggest that phages can actually deliver defensive genes to bacteria in our gut.
Okay.
And these genes can actually encode proteins that help bacteria fight off, harmful invaders.
Okay.
Essentially, it's like they're acting as a defense system for our microbiome.
So phages, they're like tiny little superheroes. They're arming our good bacteria with like weapons to fight the bad guys.
Yeah, it really is remarkable. And it makes you realize that viruses, bacteria, and humans, we're all interconnected in this intricate web of life.
I love it. This whole conversation is really making me rethink everything I thought I knew about viruses.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we're rewriting the textbooks on virology.
It is a paradigm shift. It really is.
Yeah, it is.
And it raises some really fascinating questions about how we approach health and disease.
Like if viruses can be good for us, should we even be trying to wipe them all out?
Yeah.
Or are there ways that we can actually harness their power for good?
Yeah, absolutely. And those are exactly the questions that scientists are grappling with right now. There's this growing field called phage therapy, which uses phages to actually treat bacterial infections.
Phage therapy, I mean, that sounds like something straight out of sance fiction, like using viruses to fight infections.
I know, right? It might sound futuristic, but it's actually been around for almost a century. Phage therapy was first developed back in the early 1900s.
Wow.
But it kind of fell out of favor with the rise of antibiotics.
Oh, why? Why did that happen?
Well, antibiotics were just easier to produce and administer.
Okay.
And they worked against a wider range of bacteria.
Yeah.
But now, with the increasing threat of antibiotic resistance, there's this renewed interest in phage therapy as a potential alternative.
So are phages our secret weapon against superbugs?
Well, they definitely have the potential to be a valuable tool in our arsenal. Unlike antibiotics, which can kill both good and bad bacteria, phages are highly specific. They only target certain types of bacteria. They leave the rest of the microbiome totally unharmed.
That's a huge advantage. So phage therapy, this could be a much more targeted and less disruptive approach to treating infections.
Exactly. And because phages can evolve and adapt alongside bacteria, they're less likely to become ineffective over time.
Okay.
Unlike antibiotics, which, bacteria can develop resistance to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it sounds like phage therapy has a lot of promise.
Yeah, it really does. But I'm guessing there's still some hurdles to overcome.
Of course. One of the biggest challenges is just finding the right phage for the right infection.
Yeah.
With so much diversity in both bacteria and phages, it's a complex and time-consuming process.
It sounds like trying to find a needle in a haystack. But on a microscopic scale.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah.
But researchers are developing new techniques and technologies to make phage identification and isolation more efficient.
Oh, that's great. This is all so fascinating. It's amazing to think that something as tiny and often overlooked as a virus could actually hold the key to fighting some of the biggest health challenges we face.
It's a testament to the power of nature. Yeah. And the interconnectedness of all living things. The human virome, it's this vast and largely unexplored frontier. And every new discovery just has the potential to really revolutionize our understanding of health, disease, and even the very nature of life itself.
Yeah, I'm definitely starting to see viruses in a whole new light.
Yeah.
I used to think of them as nothing but trouble.
Yeah.
But now I realize that they're a crucial part of who we are.
It's all about perspective, right?
Yeah.
Viruses, they're an integral part of the web of life, and they play this complex and often unexpected role in our health and well-being. And as we continue to unravel the secrets of the human virome, we're bound to uncover even more fascinating insights that really, really challenge our assumptions and push the boundaries of scientific knowledge.
Yeah, I'm on the edge of my seat waiting to see what the Human Virome program uncovers next.
Me too. It's a groundbreaking endeavor. It really is. It promises to unlock this treasure trove of knowledge about our inner viral world.
Absolutely. So we've been talking about all the potential benefits of phage therapy, but I mean, are there any downsides? Are there any risks to using viruses as a treatment?
Well, that's a really important question. And like any medical treatment, there are always potential risks and challenges that we need to consider. One concern with phage therapy is the possibility of unintended consequences.
Yep.
Even though phages are highly specific, meaning they target only certain types of bacteria, we still need to be absolutely sure that we're using the right phage for the right infection.
So if we use the wrong phage, I mean, could it accidentally harm, like, the beneficial bacteria in our bodies?
It is a possibility, although it's less likely than with, broad-spectrum antibiotics.
Right.
Which, those can wipe out a wide range of bacteria, both good and bad. So that's why careful selection and thorough testing of phages are just absolutely crucial before using them therapeutically. Another concern is the potential for bacteria to develop resistance to phages, just like they can with antibiotics.
So even though phages can, evolve and adapt, bacteria might still find ways to kind of outsmart them. It seems like this constant battle.
It's an evolutionary arms race, you could say.
Yeah.
But phages have a couple of advantages in this battle. You see, first, they can evolve much faster than bacteria can.
Okay.
And second, we can actually genetically engineer phages to make them even more effective.
Wait, hold on. We can actually tweak phages to make them better at fighting bacteria. How does that work?
Well, scientists are exploring different ways to modify phages. For example, they can engineer them to target specific bacterial strains more effectively, or to overcome resistance mechanisms that bacteria have developed. It's a rapidly evolving field with a lot of exciting potential.
Yeah, it sounds like phage therapy is still in its early stages.
Yeah.
But the possibilities are mind-boggling. And it's not just about treating infections, right?
Right, exactly. Researchers are they're investigating how we can use phages to modulate the gut microbiome in other ways. For instance, we could potentially use them to promote the growth of beneficial bacteria or to reduce inflammation in the gut.
So we could one day use viruses to fine-tune our gut health.
Exactly, yeah.
That's incredible. This whole conversation has really, really shifted my perspective on viruses.
Mm-hmm.
I used to think of them as nothing but troublemakers, but now I'm seeing them in this whole new light.
Yeah, it's amazing how much our understanding of viruses has changed in recent years. We're moving away from this idea of viruses as simply enemies and starting to appreciate their complexity and the potential benefits that they might offer. And the Human Virome program is at the forefront of this exciting new era of virology.
It's mind-blowing to think that something so small and often overlooked could have such a profound impact on our health and well-being. I can't wait to see what groundbreaking discoveries they make next. Me too. It's a truly groundbreaking endeavor that's sure to reveal even more fascinating insights into this intricate dance between viruses and our bodies. As we continue to explore this hidden world, we're bound to uncover new ways to harness the power of the virome for the benefit of human health. This has been an incredible deep dive into the human virome. It's clear that viruses are much more than just, agents of disease. They're an integral part of who we are, and understanding them is essential to unlocking the secrets of human health. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery. Absolutely. It's been a pleasure sharing this fascinating world with you. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the wonders of science.